The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1, Matthew 25 and 1, Matthew, the 25th chapter and the first verse, a story about 10 girls. At that time, God's kingdom will be like 10 girls who went to wait for the bridegroom. They took their lamps with them. 5 of the girls were foolish and 5 were wise. The foolish girls took their lamps with them, but they did not take extra oil for the lamps. These wise girls took their lamps and more oil in jars. When the bridegroom was very late, the girls could not keep their eyes open and they all fell asleep. At midnight, someone announced, "The bridegroom is coming. Come and meet him." Then all the girls woke up. They made their lamps ready. But the foolish girls said to the wise girls, "Give us some of your oil. The oil in our lamps is all gone." The wise girls answered, "No, the oil we have might not be enough for all of us. But go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." So the foolish girls went to buy oil. While they were gone, the bridegroom came. The girls who were ready went in with the bridegroom to the wedding feast. Then the door was closed and locked. Later, the other girls came. They said, Sir, open the door to let us in." But the bridegroom answered, "Certainly not. I don't even know you." So always be ready. You don't know the day or the time when the Son of Man will come. Story about 3 servants. At that time, God's kingdom will be like a man leaving home to travel to another place for a visit. Before he left, he talked with his servants. He told his servants to take care of the things while he was gone. He decided how much each servant would be able to care for. The man gave one servant 5 bags of money. He gave another servant 2 bags. He gave a third servant 1 bag. Then he left. The servant who got 5 bags went quickly to invest the money. Those 5 bags of money earned 5 more. It was the same with the servant who had 2 bags. That servant invested the money and earned 2 more. But the servant who got 1 bag of money went away and dug a hole in the ground. Then he hid his master's money in the hole. After a long time, the master came home. He asked the servants what they did with his money. The servant who got 5 bags brought that amount and 5 more bags of money to the master. The servant said, "Master, you trusted me to care for 5 bags of money, so I used them to earn 5 more." The master answered, "You did right. You're a good servant who can be trusted. You did well with that small amount of money, so I will let you care for much greater things. Come and share my happiness with me." Then the servant who got the 2 bags of money came to the master. The servant said, "Master, you gave me 2 bags of money to care for, so I used your 2 bags to earn 2 more." The master answered, "You did right. You're a good servant who can be trusted. You did well with a small amount of money, so I'll let you care for much greater things. Come and share my happiness with me." Then the servant who got 1 bag of money came to the master. The servant said, "Master, I knew you were a very hard man. You harvest what you did not plant. You gather crops where you did not put any seed. So I was afraid. I went and hid your money in the ground. Here is the 1 bag of money you gave me." The master answered, "You're a bad and lazy servant. You say you knew that I harvest what I did not plant and that I gather crops where I did not put any seed. So you should have put my money in the bank. Then when I came home, I would get my money back and I would also get the interest that my money earned." So the master told his other servants, "Take the 1 bag of money from that servant and give it to the servant who has 10 bags. Everyone who uses what they have will get more. They will have much more than they need. But the people who do not use what they have will have everything taken away from them." My. Then the master said, "Throw that useless servant outside into the darkness where people cry and grind their teeth with pain. The Son of Man will judge all people. The Son of Man will come again with divine greatness, and all his angels will come with him. He will sit as a king on his great and glorious throne. All the people of the world will be gathered before him. Then he will separate everyone into 2 groups. It will be like a shepherd separating his sheep from his goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to the godly people on his right, 'Come, my father has great blessings for you. The kingdom he promised is now yours. It has been prepared for you since the world was made. It is yours because when I was hungry, you gave me food to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I had no place to stay, you welcomed me into your home. When I was without clothes, you gave me something to wear. When I was sick, you cared for me. When I was in prison, you came to visit me.' Then the godly people will answer, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry and give you food? When did we see you thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you with no place to stay and welcome you into our home? When did we see you without clothes and give you something to wear? When did we see you sick or in prison and care for you?' Then the king will answer, 'The truth is, anything you did for any of my people here, you also did for me.' Then the king will say to the evil people on his left, 'Get away from me. God has already decided that you'll be punished. Go to the fire that burns forever, the fire that was prepared for the devil and his angels. You must go away, because when I was hungry, you gave me nothing to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me nothing to drink. When I had no place to stay, you did not welcome me into your home. When I was without clothes, you gave me nothing to wear. When I was sick and in prison, you did not care for me. Then those people will answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty? When did we see you without a place to stay? Or when did we see you without clothes or sick or in prison? When did we see any of this and not help you? The king will answer, the truth is, anything you refuse to do for any of my people here, you refuse to do for me. Then these evil people will go away to be punished forever, but the godly will go and enjoy eternal life. Matthew chapter 26. The Jewish leaders planned to kill Jesus. After Jesus finished saying all of these things, he said to his followers, you know that the day after tomorrow is Passover. On that day, the Son of Man will be handed over to his enemies to be killed on a cross. Then the leading priests and the older Jewish leaders had a meeting at the palace where the high priest lived. The high priest's name was Caiaphas. In the meeting, they tried to find a way to arrest and kill Jesus without anyone knowing what they were doing. They planned to arrest and kill Jesus. They said, we cannot arrest Jesus during the Passover. We don't want the people to become angry and cause a riot. A woman does something special. Jesus was in Bethany at the house of Simon the leper. While he was there, a woman came to him. She had an alabaster jar filled with expensive perfume. She poured the perfume on Jesus's head while he was eating. The followers saw the woman do this and were upset at her. They said, why waste that perfume? It could be sold for a lot of money, and the money could be given to those who are poor. But Jesus knew what happened. He said, why are you bothering this woman? She did a very good thing for me. You'll always have the poor with you, but you will not always have me. This woman poured perfume on my body. She did this to prepare me for burial after I die. The good news will be told to people all over the world. And I can assure you that everywhere the good news is told, the story of what this woman did will also be told, and people will remember her. Judas agrees to help Jesus's enemies. Then one of the 12 followers went to talk to the leading priest. This was the follower named Judas Iscariot. He said, I will hand Jesus over to you. What will you pay me for doing this? The priest gave him 30 silver coins. After that, Judas waited for the best time to hand Jesus over to them, the Passover meal. On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the followers came to Jesus. They said, we will prepare everything for you to eat, the Passover meal. Where do you want us to have the meal? Jesus answered, go into the city, go to a man I know, tell him that the teacher says, the chosen time is near. I will have the Passover meal with my followers at your house. They obeyed and did what Jesus told them to do. They prepared the Passover meal. In the evening, Jesus was at the table with the 12 followers. They were all eating, and Jesus said, believe me when I say that one of you 12 here will hand me over to my enemies. Followers were very sad to hear this. Each one said, Lord, surely I'm not the one. Jesus answered, one who has dipped his bread in the same bowl with me will be the one to hand me over. The Son of Man will suffer what the scriptures say will happen to him. But it will be very bad for the one who hands the Son of Man over the Son of Man to be killed. It would be better for him if he had never been born. Then Judas, the very one who would hand him over, said to Jesus, Teacher, surely I'm not the one you're talking about. Am I? Jesus answered, yes, it is you. The Lord's Supper. While they were eating, Jesus took some bread and thanked God for it. He broke off some pieces and gave them to his followers and said, take this bread and eat it. It is my body. Then he took a cup of wine, thanked God for it, and gave it to them. He said, each one of you drink some of it. This wine is my blood, which will be poured out to forgive the sins of many and begin the new agreement from God to his people. I want you to know I will not drink this wine again until the day we are together in my Father's kingdom and the wine is new. Then I will drink it again with you. They all sang a song and went out to the Mount of Olives. Jesus says his followers will leave him. Jesus told the followers, tonight, you will all lose your faith in me. The scriptures say, I will kill the shepherd and the sheep will run away. But after I'm killed, I will rise from death. Then I will go into Galilee. I will be there before you go there. Peter answered, all the followers may lose their faith in you, but my faith will never be shaken. Jesus answered, the truth is, tonight you will say you don't know me. You will deny me 3 times before the rooster crows. But Peter answered, I will never say I don't know you. I will even die with you. And all the other followers said the same thing. Jesus prays alone. Then Jesus went with his followers to a place called Gethsemane. He said to them, sit here while I go there and pray. He told Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee to come with him, but he began to be very sad and troubled. Jesus said to Peter and to the two sons of Zebedee, my heart is so heavy with grief, I feel as if I'm dying. Wait here and stay awake with me. Then Jesus went on a little farther away from them. He fell to the ground and prayed, my Father, if it is possible, don't make me drink this cup, but do what you want to, not what I want. Then he went back to his followers and found them sleeping. He said to Peter, could you men not stay awake with me for 1 hour? Stay awake and pray for strength against temptation. Your spirit wants to do what is right, but your body is weak. Then Jesus went away a second time and prayed, my Father, if I must do this, and it is not possible for me to escape it, then I pray that what you want will be done. Then he went back to his followers. Again, he found them sleeping. They could not stay awake. So he left them and went away one more time and prayed. This third time he prayed, he said the same thing. Then Jesus went back to the followers and said, are you still sleeping and resting? The time has come for the Son of Man to be handed over to the control of sinful men. Stand up. We must go. Here comes the one who will hand me over. Jesus is arrested. While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12 apostles, came there. He had a big crowd of people with him, all carrying swords and clubs. They had been sent from the leading priests and the older leaders of the people. Judas planned to do something to show them which one was Jesus. He said, the one I kiss will be Jesus. Arrest him. So he went to Jesus and said, hello, teacher. Then Judas kissed him. Jesus answered, friend, do the thing you came to do. Then the men came and grabbed Jesus and arrested him. When that happened, one of his followers with Jesus grabbed his sword and pulled it out. He swung it at the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. Jesus said to the man, put your sword back in its place. People who use swords will be killed with swords. Surely you know I could ask my Father, and he'd give me more than 12 armies of angels. But it must happen this way to show the truth of what the scripture said. And then Jesus said to the crowd, why do you come to me with swords and clubs, as if I were a criminal? Every day I sat in the temple area teaching. You didn't arrest me there. But all these things have happened to show the full meaning of what the prophets wrote. And all of Jesus' followers left him and ran away. Jesus before the Jewish leaders. The men who arrested Jesus led him to the house of Caiaphas, the high priest. The teachers of the law and the older Jewish leaders were gathered there. Peter followed Jesus, but stayed back at a distance. He followed him to the yard of the high priest's house. Peter went in and sat with the guards. He wanted to see what would happen to Jesus. The leading priests and the high council tried to find something against Jesus so they could kill him. They tried to find people to lie and say that Jesus had done wrong. Many people came and told lies about him, but the council could find no reason to kill him. Then two people came and said, this man said I can destroy the temple of God and build it again in 3 days. Then the high priest stood up and said to Jesus, don't you have anything to say about these charges against you? Are they telling the truth? But Jesus said nothing. Again, the high priest said to Jesus, you are now under oath. I command you by the power of the living God to tell us the truth. Tell us, are you the Messiah, the Son of God? Jesus answered, yes, that's right. But I tell you, in the future, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right side of God, and you will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven. When the high priest heard this, he tore his clothes in anger. He said, this man has said things that insult God. We don't need any more witnesses. You all heard his insulting words. What do you think? The Jewish leaders answered, he is guilty and he must die. Then some there spit in Jesus' face and they hit him with their fists. Others slapped him. They said, show us that you're a prophet, Messiah. Tell us who hit you. Peter's afraid to say he knows Jesus. While Peter was sitting outside in the yard, a servant girl came up to him and she said, you were with Jesus, that man from Galilee. But Peter told everyone there that this was not true. I don't know what you're talking about, he said. Then he left the yard. At the gate, another girl saw him and said to the people there, this man was with Jesus of Nazareth. Again, Peter said he was never with Jesus. He said, I swear to God, I don't know the man. Short time later, those standing there went to Peter and said, we know you are one of them. It's clear from the way you talk. Then Peter began to curse. He said, I swear to God, I don't know the man. As soon as he said this, a rooster crowed. Then he remembered what Jesus told him. Before the rooster crows, you will say 3 times that you don't know me. Then Peter went outside and cried bitterly. This is the word of the Lord. Hit that button that says follow, like, share, as well as subscribe. Make sure you put in the comments section, "This is the word of the Lord." And make sure you hit that arrow at the bottom of the screen. And